campus children's pastor at Hillsong Australia, and we're chatting today and getting to know Becky a little bit better. Hey Becky, how are you doing?
I am so good, and I'm really excited to be chatting to you guys. I love connecting with other children's ministries and pastors, so it's fantastic.
Great. Well, we're great, and we are so happy to have you. I wanted to kind of just get to know you a little bit and kind of walk us through what your week looks like as a mom and a children's pastor, and I know you also work on the kids creative team as well. What are some of the things that you're passionately pursuing right now and some projects that you're working on?
Okay, well, I guess being in full-time ministry is a lot of hard work, but I love it. I never thought I would be doing anything like this, so I don't take it for granted. I'm really honoured at what I get to do. I think it all comes out of I'm extremely passionate about children. I'm extremely passionate about seeing them find their giftings, and I love seeing them have moments with Jesus. So I get to kind of do my favourite things all together, being a children's pastor and a kids worship pastor. Tuesday is kind of our meetings day, kind of getting ready for the weekend and any events or conferences that are coming up. So Tuesday tends to be one of those days where you're just really connecting with other departments, making sure we're on the same page. And I meet up with a lot of our interns on that day just to set them up for the week and what they've got coming ahead as well. Wednesday is a day where I get to just kind of do anything and everything. So I meet up with leaders. I really focus on creative on Wednesdays. Friday, I do creative and getting ready for the weekend, and then just making sure our staff are all on the same page. So just in case, because you often find by Friday a lot of things have come up. We need this for the weekend, or the campus pastor wants this. So Friday is just okay, let's do what we need to do for the weekend and then get everyone on the same page. And then on Saturday is our day off. We do have 2 services on a Saturday, so we kind of really treasure Saturday kind of morning, afternoon. And then we go hard Saturday night, and then Sunday is just church all day. And our kids do the journey and they love it. And so it's kind of a big package deal. We all do it together. And in between kind of juggling being a children's pastor, I'm also making sure that I'm investing into my kids' creative teams. So we have strategic people that run each campus, and I'm just more investing into the key team, and then they pass it on. And in the midst of that, I'm just doing my best to be a mum, and I make sure I get everything ready the night before so that the mornings are nice, and just having a go. And I just do it daily.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just living life and enjoying children's ministry.
Yeah, totally.
I kind of see the same thing over on my side. So you mentioned a little bit about having interns. What are some different things that you guys do for those?
Okay, so I guess when it comes to our interns, it's always a bonus that I've been a college student before, and I know that when I did 2 years at Hillsong College, the people that invested into me were who really kind of got me passionate and mentored me and taught me. So when it comes to our interns, I take them really seriously. So we've got first years, second years and third years, and at the moment Dave and I are really blessed with a handful of third years. So for me, I'm like, man, they've sacrificed 2 years of their life, so I want to make their third year count, and we're really blessed to have them, because I guess by the time they've been here 3 years, they're at a really high level. So we're able to give them massive responsibility. So our job then is just to make sure that those big responsibilities they've got are going smoothly, but they're also raising up teams that can take that on for them. So with our interns, we just want to set them up to win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's just, I think it's great that you guys do everything top notch. So it's just a matter of taking what you could make every day and making it into something exceptional. As we start to grow and develop our ministries, and we have so many different ministries that are just small right now, but trying to make them exceptional and to match our weekend experiences. Now, do you guys do a lot of leadership and training for your volunteers that are just doing childcare or some of your smaller programs? Or is that something they kind of institute themselves?
All the departments try to enter what's happening in the the bigger picture of church. So, for example, we have Heart and Soul Nights about 3 to 4 times a year, and all our leaders will definitely go to that. That's when the heart and soul of church comes together. Brian and Bobby run that, and that's real full-on leadership, meaty stuff. So we want our leaders there. What we do is with our different departments, say, for example, you've got your early childhood department, we've got our primary part of what we do, and our pre-teen part of what we do. Each of those areas then have key teams. So, for example, I might not necessarily run the key team for the pre-teen program because I have a volunteer overseeing that, but we will have key team united nights where we all come together and then I'll invest into them. We try to go, well, what's happening during the week? We don't want to get our leaders out another night. What do and complements other things that are happening. So, for example, on a Wednesday night, we have our Powerhouse program happening, which is kind of 18 to 25s. So we'll do our kids training an hour before that because most of our kids leaders are, say, that age group. And we found that that really works. So whereas at our Hills, a lot of their Hills campus, a lot of their key team are older business people. So our campus there, Nathan, do it as breakfast before they all go to work. So we kind of try and work out the demographic of our leaders and then what's a time that's going to complement other things that happen to meet with them. So we try to do that on Wednesday nights, once a month, twice a month, and we'll do just key team specific where we're teaching them full on leadership stuff. And then we'll do nights where all our leaders can come if they can. And that's where we'll break it down to their age groups and do age group specific training.
Well, I mean, that just shows what kind of things you guys have going on over there. You have to have leaders that are really involved and in tune and to really care about their needs and what's going to fit their schedule. Because the majority of your people are volunteer, correct?
Yeah, totally. Like even our Voltage age group, which is year 5 and 6, so that's 10 to 12-year-olds. At the moment, the volunteer that's overseeing that, Carlos, he's brilliant. He studies full-time. He works full-time, yet he's so passionate about that age group. So my role is to then set him up to win and value that time when he does volunteer, and then so his main focus is weekends. So he's kind of is the face of that on the weekends, but I've just got to make sure that he's healthy, his soul's healthy, that, and at the end of the day what we try and say to our leaders is who you are is more important than what you do. So I guess that's where I come in as the kids pastor. Okay, yes, I've got this thing that I've got this ship that I've got to drive and move, but how am I then encouraging those volunteers and leaders that how am I looking after them and pastoring them? So I guess the majority of my time goes into that, and if I'm doing that into my key team, because I'm not necessarily going to know all kind of 300 of my volunteers, but if I'm investing into that key team, pastoring them, looking after them, keeping them healthy, then they're going to do that the same for the teams that they're looking after. So that's kind of how the leadership structure type thing works. It chops and changes, but try to be smart.
That's a great idea. So Becky, I want to talk to you a little bit about your creative side. How do you work your creative into the week? Is it something that you do strictly on your own time, or is it something that you work on in the office with the other creative team members?
I guess with our Kids Creative team, we don't have anyone on staff for Kids Creative, and so it's all run by volunteers. So I'm very blessed at the different people that I get to work with. The kids worship pastor side of it, I do volunteer. My husband Dave used to do it, and then as his role got bigger, I was able to take that on for him. I'm really passionate about it. So the way we do it with our different campuses is we have an oversight at each campus, and then I work with them. And I guess my role is more visionary, so just making sure all the campuses are on the same page. And then my other role is, say if there's big picture requests, making sure that they're happening. So I guess when we first started Kids Creative, we were a little bit of an island, only because it was undiscovered. We hadn't really ever done it before. But so my goal when I came on was to really take this team that was a little bit of an island, not on purpose, and to really integrate them into the main heart of creative. So for example, we've got our album recording coming up, and Main Creative are going to be working really hard at making that happen. So our Kids Creative team will be working really hard at making sure the kids rallies are up to the same standards. So that's kind of how we work together, and they really support us in production and TV, which is a massive blessing. And so the departments really work closely together for different events and stuff like that. And so that's kind of how that works. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, no, that makes great sense. Well, and it's interesting to find out that most of your creative people are volunteers. I think that's probably encouraging to a lot of churches that don't have a very large staff. But kids ministry a very creative ministry. And especially with everything out there for kids, I mean, in terms of videos and music and just anything, any sort of descriptive lesson that you can do in order to keep their attention, you're competing with a lot of creative people out there.
And I think it's also another option for people to find their place. And, sometimes people will freak out because it's kids and they don't necessarily know how to work with them, get them. But once they see that there's this amazing whole other world of production and TV and lighting and stage managing and musicians and vocalists that can then be doing the same thing leading kids in worship, it opens up this whole world. And that's not to say that some people may have seen our Hillsong Kids DVDs, and what you're seeing there is the big shebang. That's when all our campuses and our kids and our extension services come together, and what we're doing on our weekends is just a little scale of that. And some of our programs do have the production and the lights and the full band and the vocalists, and it's amazing. But then you have our smaller programs where it's just a guitar and a drum box and a couple of vocalists, and they've just put an effort to look great and add the sparkles. But I think it's finding is where can you start with what you have? And you'll find that if you can be the most passionate, you become this magnet, you build this culture, and people want to be a part of it, and they have to be a part of it. And then they go, oh, it's for kids. Okay, I can do this. So it's just a matter of building the culture that you want. And if you're the most passionate and the most craziest, and if it means you have to start out wearing the tutus and the sparkles, people will get on board. Not the boys, of course.
No, I love that. That is exactly what it's about. Because, I mean, you can have a small church or a big church, but I think it's all about your vision. And if you think God is big and you just set up a culture, once you set up that exciting, fun, big culture, then people really buy into it. And they really want to be a part of it. And they'll give a lot more than you would ever expect from somebody who works a full-time job and has a whole life, but they're willing to sacrifice so much when they can see the big picture and when they can get excited about something and be a part of something. When you're doing something like scripture memorization or you have a lesson, what do you do in terms of connecting with parents at home?
That's kind of probably something that we're really looking forward to exploring at the moment. We're getting ready for some more curriculum and stuff like that, and I think we really want to experiment on how we can work with parents. One thing we've started doing this year, which has been really effective, is just Dave started a monthly family email, and that has made a really big difference. Just it's put his face out there as the children's pastor, which is really important, and each month it has different elements to it. So we feature a family from one of our campuses. It has our monthly themes on it. It has, say for example, last month we had our big kids day, which Kids Fest, so it has that on it. So it kind of just highlights the main things that are happening in church, but I think that's made our children's ministry more personal. And so at the moment we're not necessarily doing something on weekends, although our children can take their activity sheets that they do home. It has a little parent section down the bottom. I know it's something we really want to explore and make better, and there's some churches in America that are doing a really amazing job at the whole family kids interaction thing. But at the moment it's a simple thing we do on a weekends with the activity sheets where kids can take it home and talk about it with their parents. But I think the family email has made a really big difference, keeping our families in the know and making it personal. And then of course just being our pastors on the weekend, we take our welcome desks really, really seriously. Our pastors are always at our welcome desks, talking to our families, getting to know our families. I love it that our kids wear name tags because we can greet them personally, and just getting to know our families. And we're really training our leaders on how they can be more pastoral to families. And we run connect groups on Sunday mornings in our program. So we call them KDGs, Kid Discipleship Groups, but training our KDG leaders that any pastoral information that they find out through our kids, that they're passing that on, because we will follow that up. And little things like on a Tuesday morning, our leaders have booklets on a weekend where they write down information for me. So on a Tuesday morning I'll send a few certificates out to kids if they've won a trophy or their pet fish died or something's happened. We'll send them a little certificate to say we're thinking of you. So there's kind of, when it comes to families, it's kind of not something that's on its own. It's just more how do we pastor our kids and our families and intertwine through everything we do. So it's probably not necessarily specifics yet. I know there's some great stuff out there, but I know that we're wanting to do more, and we're going to trial a few things next year, which is really exciting.
I love it. It sounds like you guys are doing a lot for families. But, the thing with families is you just kind of have to incorporate it into everyday life because people are busy. And I think just being available and really getting to know your kids and your families and noticing little things like their pet dying or maybe they had a cold and they were gone that week, I think that probably speaks to families as much as anything does. But, well, it's been awesome talking to you, Beci.
I have loved chatting to you, and we're really excited to come and hang out with you guys in February. Really excited. I've already got some things on my heart that I'm really excited to share, and I guess we're all on the journey, and I love it that we can help each other out, and I'm sure there's stuff we can learn from you guys, and I can't wait to connect with people at the different opportunities that I get, because we can learn from other people as well and see what you're doing, which I'm sure is amazing.
I can't wait to see you in February.
February 23rd and 24th, 2012 is Napkin, a children and family pastors and leaders conference. This is an event for your whole team that's not just about ideas, but making ideas happen. Speakers include Jim Weidman, Associate Pastor at World Christian Church and pioneer of children's ministry. Benny Perez, author, church planner, and lead pastor of the church at South Las Vegas. Dave and Beci Wakerley, children's pastors at Hillsong Sydney. Michael Rosales, Napkin Conference Director and children's pastor at the church at South Las Vegas. Ryan Frank, Executive Director of Kids Matter and Awana, as well as Editor-in-Chief of K Magazine. And Sam Luce, avid blogger and children's pastor of Redeemer Church in Utica, New York. Registration is going on right now, so register your team today at thenapkinconference.com. Napkin Conference, taking your ideas off the napkin and into reality.